But it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house.
How about date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there. Stay
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Cause you know I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage.
Shannon Sharpe should have paid closer attention to Cad Williams' warning, especially when he said people would start targeting him because of their now infamous interview. And now, it seems like that prediction is coming true. People are coming at Shannon hard, and rumor has it there's a push to turn him into the next Diddy. Jaguar Wright has even come forward with a detailed account of how they allegedly plan to take him down. At this point, it looks like Shay might be finished. Apparently, just before all of this controversy started, Shannon had been preparing to sit down for an interview with Jaguar Wright, something many believe triggered the backlash aimed at dismantling him. Reports indicate he's already lost hundreds of millions of dollars since Gabriella filed her lawsuit. Now, new individuals are stepping forward with even more severe allegations, including Michelle, his ex-girlfriend of 10 years. She recently gave an interview exposing her experiences with him. It appears there's already a large-scale media campaign in motion to ruin Shannon's reputation, and no one seems to be stepping in to help him. Many believe it's because his podcast, known for confronting the truth, posed a significant threat to powerful interests. Interestingly, Michelle had filed her lawsuit back in 2023, well before Gabriella's case, but it's resurfaced now that Shannon is under public scrutiny over Gabriella's accusations. Michelle alleges that in 2010, during a long-term affair with Shannon, he sexually assaulted her in the midst of an intense argument over his infidelity. She revealed that their relationship began while she was still married, but Shannon insisted she leave her husband, claiming he didn't want to share her with anyone. She eventually agreed and ended her marriage. But after the split, she discovered Shannon had been cheating on her all along. That led her to confront him at his home. While they had fought before, it had always been over the phone. This time, it was face-to-face. According to Michelle, Shannon used the opportunity to commit multiple acts without her consent. He allegedly forced her onto her knees and made her perform oral sex against her will. She claims she clearly expressed her refusal both physically and verbally, but he ignored her protests and proceeded anyway, pleasuring himself in the process. The lawsuit includes a disturbing quote. Shannon maneuvered her onto the bed and proceeded to have non-consensual sex while delivering a chilling message. He told me he was going to make it so no other man would want me. Following this traumatic event, Michelle said she attempted to report him to law enforcement, but Shannon responded with threats. He reportedly intimidated both her and her family, even sending people to her home to scare her into silence. He said he'd ruin my life, she recalled, that he'd use his entire network to destroy me. Michelle described living in a basement apartment with a door leading straight to the street. One night, someone came directly to her door and shouted, "Shut up, effing B." At that point, fearing for her safety and with a child in the home, she withdrew the restraining order, feeling she had no other choice.
Press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And, but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, you know, I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming. We dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, you know, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
What led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you?
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating, so I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband, and I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, you know, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his in my mouth. And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, you know, this was all a struggle. I had said no. And I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard. I remember he got dressed and he knew what he did. And so, you know, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And then I wasn't going to do anything about it. You know, sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it. And there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, you know, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against me.
While all of this was unfolding, Jaguar Wright also joined the conversation, offering insight into what's really going on and why the industry appears to be targeting Shannon. It's no secret that Shannon upset a number of high-level executives when he interviewed Cat Williams. Things escalated further when he followed that up with an interview featuring Monique, who, as expected, didn't hold back in criticizing Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. During the interview with Kat, there was even a clear warning the industry would come after Shannon once the interview aired, and one tactic they'd likely use would be involving a white woman. Despite this warning, Shannon didn't seem to take it seriously. He continued engaging in behavior that antagonized them, and even made comments about his preference for young white women. Unsurprisingly, they took notice, and acted accordingly by using that exact detail against him.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. Come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
Remember when I did Cam? I remember getting up and I turned back and I look at my Cat, and I look at my producer and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed up. So I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? He like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
I'm like, you think so? He's like, shit. And he's looking at me just like I'm looking at you, Cam. He's like, shit, this is gonna be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man. I said, so I'm thinking at that point in time, Steve Harvey is my biggest viewed, is my most viewed podcast. He's at 8 million. I said, you think we're gonna beat Steve? He's like, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 million.
Yeah.
That's all, Cam, if I get 10 million, I'm like, that's a pretty good interview.
Yeah.
Think about how few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million. So if I get 10 million, that's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast. So I felt good. Man, Man. But here's the thing I tell people, if I'd have had Cat mic'd up from the time he got out of the truck until the time he sat down, it'd have done 100 million. Oh, he was on it. And I just like damn. Cause I went back and I'm like, damn, he said that? Where was I? He was saying so much that I'm like, but Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said, this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
He said,
but my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
yes. He said, he told me, and my guy Jordan is over there. He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get, that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on.
Reports suggest Shannon was preparing for an upcoming interview with Jaguar Wright. But once industry insiders caught wind of it, the Gabriella lawsuit suddenly resurfaced, raising questions about whether this legal trouble is directly tied to his planned sit-down with Jaguar. As it stands, that interview has now been canceled due to Shannon's current circumstances. Jaguar hasn't gone easy on him either. In a recent interview, she criticized Shannon for putting himself in this position and also shared her perspective on the forces trying to bring him down. According to Jaguar, Shannon had no business getting involved with a 20-year-old woman, someone young enough to be his daughter. She also criticized him for associating with questionable individuals within the entertainment industry, people she believes are now orchestrating this campaign against him from behind the scenes.
You know, a lot of people were angry at Shannon Sharpe after his Cat Williams 2024 God Ain't Playing With Y'all interview. A lot of people were angry with him. Matter of fact, there's a lot more people who reached out to him after Cat, who he turned away because he couldn't take the heat. Is everyone forgetting that? And Cat warned him, they're gonna come for you. Monique came after that, told him, they about to get you. You better watch who you kicking it with. She told him the kindest, most polite way possible. And then all of a sudden, he's accidentally going on Instagram, setting up whole corn lives. Humiliation ritual, down to the floor. But why is nobody paying attention to? They're talking about money. 10 million offered to be quiet. She asked for 25,000 for the SCX. He wants 100 million for defamation and whoopty-whoopty-woo and all of this. Why is nobody talking about the simple fact that this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink?
Yeah.
Let's stay there.
Let's stay there.
Because everybody skipped over that. Who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
His daughters are 32, son is 30.
And he keeps getting online. And somebody want to apologize to my family. No, you don't. Because you would stop. You got busted out. You did whatever you did on Instagram. And is everyone forgetting that he was just recently tied to the whole bride and with Casa and Skip Bayless? Is everybody forgetting that just happened just a couple months ago? OnlyFans? You're negotiating $150 million big deal for your podcast outlets and all of that, which, by the way, was all set up for you by the NFL. Oh, I'm sorry. Who did Sean Carter work for?
The puzzle is puzzling.
No, last time I checked, Mr. Carter works for the NFL. And he was the one that got real smart Black Americans who were boycotting the NFL to stop giving the NFL their money. He was able to make all of that happen. I think we're past bending a knee. And then all of a sudden, Black people giving their money back to the NFL again? Those blackouts were for real, and it was costing the NFL millions.
It's still unclear where Jaguar's getting all of this information, but much of what she's saying seems to align with what others are observing, which has sparked more backlash against Shannon. Many people weren't surprised that Jaguar spoke out about the alleged effort to discredit Shannon, especially since she's been a target herself for some time. She even claimed there was an attempt to silence Cat Williams permanently. According to Jaguar, she and Cat have maintained a close friendship over the years, and it was Cat who encouraged her to speak up about what she's witnessed within the Hollywood system.
When he walked into the club, and I was sitting at my table, it's my birthday party, and Special Ed brought him, and he wanted to meet me, and he came to my party, gave me about 20 grand in cash, and said, consider it a down payment on your time. He taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him.
One commenter wrote, "This man went from surviving the NFL as a top athlete to retiring and getting involved with someone who was only 19 when their relationship began. He ended up throwing away a $100 million opportunity that could have secured his family's future for generations." Another added, "A Black man in America fumbled the chance at building lasting generational wealth. How could he make such a foolish decision? It's unbelievable." Someone else chimed in, "I'm with Jag on this. A man over 60 has no business pursuing someone under 30. The brain doesn't fully mature until around 25. Yet people continue to normalize this behavior. It's predatory." Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Jaguar revealing details about Shannon's situation and suggesting his safety might be at risk? Do you believe Shannon's career is really over? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out this other video full of more updates.